question for you. Can you see that our species is going through a change? Can you see that there's an evolutionary leap occurring? And I know if you listen to the rhetoric, it seems the exact opposite. But also, at the same time, can you also see, and if you can't, then have a look, because it's really quite exciting, that we're waking up inside ourselves, that we're realising we're actually more than we thought we were, that we've actually got capacities to heal, to grow, to see further, to see deeper than we didn't think we had. We've got connection to our intuition in a way that we didn't have before, or at least we didn't have it as pronounced as it can be now. And all of this is happening in response to our, excuse my French, fuck-ups. Nature doesn't make mistakes, not at all. Nature does what it has to do in order for life to thrive. And some things fall away, yes they do, when they're not as useful as they have been, when things move forward, and other things evolve. And we're going through one of those right now. What we've been doing on this planet for the longest time that we can remember is we've been operating from the head. We've been living with blinkers on and from here up. And we've been coming up with loads of great ideas and some very shocking shit ones. Excuse my French this morning, I said that twice now, but there's probably going to be a lot. And nature's suffering because of our stupid decisions, because of our grand ideas, because of the way we've done it. We've done it without connection to our heart-centered self, our intuitive force, our subconscious, the universe, your soul. Well, you know, it's got a myriad of different names, but it's that spiritual connected force. And even these days, you can't even talk about anything spiritual anymore, can you? Not religious-wise, because then you've got someone of a different religion who just wants to bash you over the head or spear you through the heart, or, you know, do something equally as abhorrent to you, because your master isn't their master. But you know, and I realised this really early, every religion is pointing to that inner connection. That's what it's pointing to. Nothing else. It's somebody's story about how they found that inner connection. That's what it is. And everyone gets all excited about the fact that there's this particular one that had that particular experience, and it's obviously that one that's the truth and none of the others. Dull. How special are we? There's literally a load of stories that are all the same with just different players. And what does that tell us? That doesn't tell us that there's one guy that was able to do it and one guy only. That tells us that actually there are lots of people that were able to do it and had stories built around them. So therefore, that must mean, come on, I know you're with me, let's do this. That must mean we're all capable of it, right? Well, yeah, it does mean that. Of course it means that. And the evolutionary leap that I want to talk to you about is the fact that Mother Nature is forcing us into a position where we reconnect here, so that the wisdom that we've been missing for a very long time can actually start rising through us again, and we can start making some more sensible decisions. Because the decisions that, I don't know about you, but when I look out there at the world and I hear what the governments around the world are doing on the behalf of the people, apparently, not one of them is talking for me. Not one. And I know a lot of people like that we're just looking at the people in power going, eh? That looks like it benefits you and your mates and no one else, really. And specifically fucks the world a little bit more. So that's what's needed, right? We need to join with our heart-centered self, soul, subconscious, superconscious, whatever it is. So, what does nature do in order to make that happen? Well, do you know, nature, being infinitely intelligent, has provided us with a whole load of people, I'm one of them, who are born with a superpower. What is that superpower, everybody? It's ADHD. That's what it is. It's autism. I'm not autistic. I do have ADHD. There are many superpowers being brought into this world, and we're going to give them a load of different reasons, like there's microplastics and they're affecting the brain, or vaccines, or whatever, right? But even that's part of the plan. That's how infinitely intelligent the infinite intelligence is. It uses everything to get where we need to go. Why is ADHD a superpower? Well, ADHD is a superpower because, in my own experience and learning, it is impossible to get an ADHD brain to fit into the paradigm in the system the way that it is without drugging them. Okay, now that's not great, because even when you drug the ADHD brain, there are knock-on effects, obviously, from being drugged. And also that's not the natural way of working, so you feel under. You don't feel well, you feel drugged. So, which is the way forward? How are we going to move through this? What are we going to do? All these people are broken, oh no. Well, through my own experience, I wouldn't listen. I'm a rebel. I just wouldn't listen to anybody and did my own thing, and thank goodness I followed that spark within throughout all the adventures I've been through, because I found that meditation, not medication, meditation bypasses the crazy of the mind by putting you into a coherent state, and then your brain is now being balanced and tempered by the heart. The thinking cells in the heart come in and they balance everything out. Now, I'm not saying I've not got ADHD anymore, of course I do, but if I stay in my present coherent self, I'm fine. My house is clean and tidy. I remember stuff I need to do. I've got, I'm not making impulsive decisions that get me into hot water. I'm very good. In fact, I'm not just very good, I'm really, really good. I'm in connection with that infinite intelligence, and the synchronicities that are popping up in my life all over the place to help me along whilst I follow this internal wisdom are just second to none. It's not about getting out there and efforting, which is the old way of doing it, which is the drug-induced state for ADHD people trying to get into the system the way that it is. This is a whole new system, and I think what I'm going to be describing here is what some people are calling 5D experience. People think there's a not only an awakening but an upregulation of the entire experience here on Earth. And that being the case, there are some criteria and elements of 5D living that ADHD brains are literally designed for. We're designed for it. It's not just a happy happenstance. We're actually designed for it. Think about that. Yay! It suits me down to the ground to not have to record and remember. What I can do is I can learn, obviously, I let everything in, and I'm taking it all in. When I need the information that I need, whether it's a memory of something I need in that moment, or I've got to remember some depth of information for someone else or for myself or whatever, the information arises effortlessly. I don't have to turn myself inside out trying to go, where did I put that list? I know I remember it. It's on the tip of my tongue. All of that has gone for me now. Now, what I need arises when I need it. Eureka! Yay! Suddenly it all makes sense. How many of you out there have been working with ADHD brains and just going, it just must be like rubbish or something, you know, because it's just not working the way I see it working for everyone else. Well, you were never supposed to have it work that way. I was never supposed to have it work that way. We were waiting, we were designed for a time where we would come to realise, oh, hang on a minute, if I don't work that way, let's try a different way and see if that works. Well, it does. Let me tell you, it really, really does. And our method has come through me to help everybody get in contact with that part of themselves that needs to be connected to in order to bypass the crazy. And I'm not even just talking about ADHD brains, because how many of us are our own worst enemy? Well, I've talked about this before. How many of us are telling ourselves, oh, you're not good enough, and oh God, you're an idiot, and whatever you're saying to yourself in your moments of trial. You've got negative automatic thinking that's dictating how you are in specific situations, and you know, marring your experience, taking your joy where you should be joyful. Joy is our birthright. We should be happily skipping through this life, helping each other, making it better. Look, it's not all hearts and flowers, you know, but even in those moments that are more trial than joy, when the wisdom that can help in that moment arises from you, there's a satisfaction that you have within those moments, not a deficit, a satisfaction. I mean, really, this new way of living is something that we should all reach for. And like I say, the ADHD brain, come on, come and see me, learn how to meditate, do that thing, because you're literally designed for it. And once you understand what surrendering your mind feels like, well, then it's easy. And that's the same for everybody, whether you're neurotypical or neurodivergent. It makes no difference. You need to connect to where the wisdom is. And if you've got a question about that, just have a look at the world the way that it is now and make a judgment, make a discernment. Is it all right the way that it is now? Do you think we've done okay by running it from just the head's point of view? Just the brain? Because if you do, you're part of the problem. And if you don't, well done, you're waking up. Now get on and do your bit. Find out where you really are, because you've been living in a story that's been made up around you, one that you believed, one that you helped make. But it's a story and it's not real. The real you is in there, and it's glorious, and it's fun, and it's satisfying, and it's interconnected and unified. You're unified within yourself, and you're unified with everything else. Yay! I'm so grateful. You could be too.